Well, we do have some breaking Stallone news, and hopefully this is something we can ask him about this weekend when we talk to Kyle Dunnigan. He and Jennifer Flavin are divorcing after 25 years of marriage. Flavin filed a petition for dissolution of marriage and other relief from the Rocky actor. He's 76. On Friday at a court in Palm Beach County, Florida, Stallone and Flavin's 54. They married in 1997. Through their relationship began in 88 at a restaurant in Beverly Hills. They have 3 daughters, Scarlett, Sistine, and Sophia. Stallone's also the father to Sergio from his previous marriage to Sasha Zach. His oldest son, Sage.
Wait, is he all S's?
Yes. But Sage died
I hate that.
in 2012, and I don't know what the circumstances were. So, I mean, I could look it up quickly, but that was with his wife at the time, Starlyn Wright. In a statement to People, Stallone said, "I love my family. We are amicably and privately addressing these issues." A lot of S's.
Yeah.
I was reading, literally on the way here, my friend texted me, or in our group chat, about Sly getting a tattoo of his wife changed. And it could change to like their dog, the dog from Rocky.
Really?
Yeah. And he was like, no. I was trying to get my wife's face retouched, but it didn't work out, so I turned it into a bull mastiff.
Like when Johnny Depp went from Winona Forever to Wino Forever.
I wonder if you can Botox a bicep if your wife's face is getting a little long in the tooth. You know what I mean?
Doesn't match anymore.
Yeah, get her teeth whitened. Just go through all the procedures.
Make her look like what I want her to look like now. So.
That's right.
How do you ever get sick of Sylvester Stallone? I would never.
Can't be done.
I would never get tired
You'd
of
never
living with that
divorce
man.
Sly.
I would never go anywhere.
You couldn't go the distance.
Obedient.
25 years. You already went that far. Just fucking wait till he dies. You know, he can't have that much more life left. All those roids and shit.
I hung out with them a little bit and talked to her. She loved horses. He loved horses. You know, they went horseback riding together. Seemed to have a lot in common.
Not enough.
They loved horses.
I'm looking really quickly.
You rarely meet a couple where like someone hates a horse and the other loves a horse.
Yeah, that would be doomed from the start.
Most people are either indifferent or they love them.
Well, you can't have a partner that hates horses because horses are very expensive. So I think that would cause quite a rift if you're blowing all your money on horses.
Yeah, they loved horses.
Sage, according to People, died from a prescription overdose.
Oh.
So, and that was 10 years ago.
Oh, boy.
And he was 36 at the time.
I kind of remember this. Yeah, I remember this story now.
So, again, we can follow up with Sylvester about the divorce, maybe. You know, if he wants to open up about it. Maybe not. Might be touchy.
There's going to be a pre- and post-fentanyl OD discussion with parents, meaning if you died of prescription drug overdose back in the day, you were a junkie. Now, it's the one pill that he got at a party and it had a chunk of fentanyl in it. That parent gets to hold their head up high. They'll tell the story. They went to the party. His friend handed him something. Next thing you know, he's flatlining. But back in the day when you died of prescription, that was a long battle with multiple substances.
And you knew you were taking a handful of something.
And he had a bunch of Dr. Feelgoods around town, and you're taking handfuls of shit.
Yeah.
Your parents' relationship fell apart because of your opioid addiction. And
now it's like we were at a concert, everybody was dancing, everybody had Molly, and he just went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. So there's a new twist, I guess, to this whole Elon Twitter thing, and gotta hand it to the guy. He was probably right all along, at least according to an expert. He just got this big boost in his legal battle with Twitter. The company's former head of cybersecurity says the social media giant misled the public and government agencies about the security. It's this dude, Peter Zatko, that goes by Mudge. He was fired in January, but is widely respected in the cyber community industry. He even went on record saying he could take down like every government website in 30 minutes. Like he's like one of those like hacker brain dudes. He says he was told to keep a major security report from Twitter's board and to write misleading security documents. He filed a complaint with the SEC, the FTC, the Department of Justice last month.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, Mudge's complaint alleges that the CEO of Twitter, quote, knows very well that Twitter executives are not incentivized to accurately detect or report total spam bots on the platform. That's the issue that is at the crux of Musk buying Twitter, and he's saying that's exactly what happened. Meanwhile, Twitter denies these allegations and calls it a false narrative.
Well, companies are never really going to police things that behoove them financially. No. And back to prescription drugs, and Brian was around 25 years ago, although Brian came on a few years after that. But I'd say, Dr. Drew, all these guys taking Vicodin. Come on, that's got to be helping the drug companies. And you go, absolutely not. I go, why not? You're treating people taking 50, 100 pills a day. And they go, they don't want any part of this. And I go, why not? They're in the business of selling Vicodin. People are addicted to Vicodin.
Moving units.
So they're moving units. How could that not be? They're not in. So they either say it's not happening, or they look the other way, or whatever it is. And at some point, the emails and the discovery and the paper trail, and we'll figure it all out.
Right.
But there'll be some version of this with Pfizer and vaccines and the government and stuff. It's everything.
McDonald's and people who eat McDonald's every day. I'm sure they, put out a thing where it's like, "Way we respect the health of our." Are they fucking kidding me? They want people to eat there every goddamn day.
Yeah, the trans fats.
Mayo's definitely addictive.
Cigarette companies saying nicotine's not addictive. I mean, what if it financially benefits the entity? Be prepared for. They run their business. Nobody knows more about it than they do. They're not in the business of being caught off guard with information. They'll know it, and then at some point, they'll do some discovery, and when they do the discovery, then they find the emails and the correspondence that says they knew about it, and that's when everyone gets fucked.
Well, and that's why it's so interesting, of course, hindsight being 2020, that Drew would say that, because people are like that. So if individuals will look the other way to get a little extra, why wouldn't a group of people who are literally in an industry to make that happen together? Individuals do it every day.
I think he's scorned and bitter and angry now.
Good.
This was young, naive Dr. Drew,
totally
where he would
Dr.
just
Drew.
Kind of go, these are drug companies. They're here to help. They're not trying to hurt people. He held his profession in a different esteem.
I get it.
High esteem. And now I think
and I respect him for it.
He woke up a little bit.
Yeah. So we have an unintended consequence that,
Well, by the way, here's how you can know everything. By knowing nothing. Mm-hmm. I know nothing. That's how I know everything. Dr. Drew is a physician who prescribes these drugs. He knew nothing. I know everything because I know nothing. I just was going, why wouldn't you want to sell more Vicodin if that's what your business was? And he kept telling me, with his board-certified addiction medicine specialist, he was explaining to me why it wasn't, because he knew too much.
Right.
It actually fucked him.
Clouded.
It fucked him up a little bit.
Too much of the journal saying it's not addictive. It's this, and then he's like, okay, if they say it's not, I'm going to trust my fellow people. But obviously,
yeah, because he's prescribing it for the right reasons. He's looking through the eyes of somebody doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, but it also kind of gets back to like when I used to wet the bed way too long, way too late in life, and I think my mom would be reading a book on psychology going, he's expressing himself through urine, this is pent up rage or whatever. And my old grandpa from Hungary would just wake me up in the middle of the night and go, psst, pee in the bucket. And I'd pee in the bucket, and I never wet the bed when I slept at his house because he didn't know anything.
Right.
He just knew I pissed about 4 a.m., so he brought a bucket.
Catch it.
Yeah, that's knowing nothing versus reading about it and educating yourself and getting up in your head about it.
Makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about an unintended consequence of wearing masks for COVID protection. Crime. And we've seen how many smash and grabs have we seen now with people in complete face coverings that we're used to now seeing in face
bank
coverings?
Robbers just blending right in.
Exactly. Fraser Ross, he owns Kitson. That's the upscale boutique chain many are familiar with here in LA.
I buy all my scarves there.
That's right. He has banned face masks out of concern for the safety of his staff and assets of the store. That's according to a sign he posted on the window. He says the move was prompted by employees who are scared of thieves with covered faces targeting stores all around Beverly Hills. The ban applies only to the flagship store in Robertson because that's where all the good shit is, all the most expensive stuff. The shop is one of 5 Kitson stores, but Ross described it as the big store with all the valuables and now no masks. And he's kind of a character anyway, and he kind of likes to mix things up. But I get it. I mean, we have broad daylight smash and grabs on Rodeo all the time, it feels like.
There's something it's too racist to talk about, but here goes.
Please.
We got into a big battle over the hoodie. Like, you're not a criminal just because you're wearing a hoodie. You're allowed to wear a hoodie. You can be a young black man and wear a hoodie and whatever. You watch all the carjackings, all the smash and grabs, all the sock the elderly Asian woman in the subway. It's full hoodie, full mask.
The uniform of the mugger.
Right.
Yeah.
So we kind of fucked ourselves because we went, it's not illegal to wear a hoodie. You should be able to wear a hoodie. Who cares who you are? And you have to wear a mask. Between the mask and the hoodie, man, you are scot-free. Now, we used to kind of do a thing where if you were going to try to pull something off, you had to dress like it, and then that was a tell. You had to pull a stocking over your head
Yeah.
or something.
That
Good
didn't
old
really
days.
do much.
But
No, it didn't.
you go hoodie and mask. No one's going to say anything to a young black man like wearing a hoodie. You can't say anything to anybody about wearing a hoodie. And then you got the mask on. That's encouraged.
Yeah.
And now, if you take a look at the uniform of all the smash and grabs, it's mask and hoodie. And then how the fuck are you going to identify somebody?
That's why you just got to go full hoodie mask combo like the KKK. It's just one
Right.
giant
Yes.
thing.
One
Yep.
piece of
Full
wardrobe.
beekeeper.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
That's right. This is something that is now coming into fruition, and again, people are protesting it. Not everybody, some people. The LA City Council has voted to ban homeless encampments within 500 feet of schools and daycares during a meeting that was disrupted by protesters who said it was bad news and criminalizing homeless people. ABC News says a second and final vote will be needed. But supporters of the ban said homeless camps are a health and safety threat to school children, especially because of the disruptive presence of people with drug addiction and mental illness. But there are many who oppose the bill, even showed up to cause a little chaos during the vote, saying it's unfair to the homeless to have them relocated. And
Isn't that
there's
the
a whole
easy-
crew.
Look, isn't it the easiest move ever if you're homeless to move?
That's part
It's
of
a
being
low
homeless.
bar.
I mean, anyone who's ever packed up a house, it's a pain in the ass. But if you're homeless, you just pull your sweatpants up and start walking.
Pull all your
right?
stuff in
It's
that
all
little
wheels anyway.
You
giant
got a
blanket.
shopping cart right there.
But you should keep the homeless in front of the schools to let the kids know, hey,
This could be you.
it could be you.
There
Yeah.
before the
Fucking
grace of
study.
God.
There you
Yeah.
You don't start saying ugh to drugs and nope to dope. It's going to
Ugh to drugs.
and nope to dope.
Never heard that.
Jesus.
My son fucks it up all the time because I go, Sonny, tell him what your dad says about drugs. And he goes, don't get high on your own supply. And I go, not that one, you idiot.
That's later.
I told you don't say that one. I said say ugh to drugs and nope to dope.
On a very special episode of Saved by the Bell, it was There's No Hope with Dope. That was a really good episode. When Johnny Montana or Johnny Dakota
Smoking it in the bathroom.
tried to get Kelly Kapowski high and everybody clutched their pearls.
This is why all these PSA companies need a Chris Rock, Jimmy Kimmel-esque writer's room, because when one of the writers, Chuck Sklar throws out, how about ugh to drugs? I think we can beat that, Chuck. Not your best work.
No.
We're not even going to write that down.
You okay, Chuck?
See if we can beat that. Let's see if we can beat it. They even go, oh, that's awesome. Let's just run with
rhymes,
this.
we're done.
Yes, no. You would go, we can beat the shit out of that rhyme.
There's
That's
two
right.
people pitching ugh to drugs.
Right.
God damn.
Well, we have some really good news. HBO has picked up a 12th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Can I say this? Somebody says,
Ugh.
can we move the homeless encampments within 500 feet of a school? And there's a group that is violently against
Yes.
that. I would argue
To them as an affront.
we shouldn't be listening to you on any subject ever again. If this is where you you're taking your stand here. This is where you take your stand.
Yeah.
It might have just been the homeless people. Like, nah, we can't
Yeah,
move,
we
man. We got signs for days.
That's why
We got the cardboard.
We're staying.
By the way, homeless people, it's really how bad it is because they are physically moving now. They have plywood shelters that they built themselves.
Oh, yeah.
2 stories.
Right. Homelessness, a homeless guy was called a bum. He had his rucksack and he literally never stopped moving.
Ride the rails.
Yeah, he would just sleep at
King
the
of the
park,
road.
clinging the rails. He was all over the place. He didn't have a home. He had a home. Like, how are we going to move our home? Your home's on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Someone think about this.
Yeah, your theory about, you've been saying it for years, say free cockfight for Raider fans and round them up. All the people that show up to protest, you got to take somebody home with you. You got
You
yourself
got to
a
take
new
somebody
roommate.
home.
Put them on your yard.
That's right.
That's right. Right.
So yeah, great news about Curb Your Enthusiasm for Curb fans. 12th season coming, 8 months after season 11 aired its last episode. HBO has more or less just an open door policy with Larry David and fellow executive producer Jeff Schaffer. If and when they have ideas for a new season, it's just on, whatever they want.
Open invitation.
Yeah. Although Curb Your Enthusiasm shot and then discarded a death scene for Larry David to end the previous season, both shows and its central character still alive for the next one. No word on when it'll begin filming or when it'll premiere. At 11 seasons, which, by the way, has spanned 20 years and 110 episodes, the show is HBO's longest running scripted or outlined and improvised series at this point.
Love that show.
I love it. It's just like, shoot a death scene. Maybe you want it. Maybe Mr. David doesn't want it. Like, whatever you want, we'll be here.
And they do something. I feel like the last 3 years they've done this strategy. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but I wait and I wait and I wait, and then it comes back and I get all excited. And the first episode, after I watch it, I go, not quite up to Curb snuff. Not quite as funny. And then they hit you hard with the second one and you go, they're back. Yeah. And I don't know if that's they're trying to just sort of dovetail you into it. I don't know if they want to come out guns a-blazing.
Set the bar too high.
You don't want to come out with your funniest one first and then have the second and third one be a little bit of a letdown. But in the last few seasons, I feel like the first one or two, I've went like, it's not as good as I remember. Maybe my hopes are too high. And then they start getting better.
I think there's a phenomenon where your memory of something, let's say Curb Your Enthusiasm, over the last 19 years and 10 seasons, your memory isn't of every moment. It's of the best moments,
Yes.
right? So you have idealized this series to the best 10 minutes in your mind. And then when there's a new episode, and it's, there are funny parts and there's whatever filler parts and funny parts. It doesn't match that sweet, frosting,
Yes, I've made a mosaic of the best moments in my head, and the first episode won't live up to it.
Ever.
I'm so far behind.
Are you?
Season 6 or something. I haven't watched it in fucking forever.
They're always good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's timeless to me, but...
Well, apparently to HBO.
Yeah.
Just come back whenever you
want.
want.
They should bring back Veep.
Oh my God.
Everyone loves Veep.
Veep is fucking brilliant.
Veep, I think, my favorite show.
Totally agree.
So fucking funny.
They cram so many jokes in.
It's brutal.
It hurts to watch it. You're laughing so hard.
I've never seen it. Everyone says it's
God,
fantastic.
it's fucking good.
First two seasons are, ridiculous television.
Talk about come out like guns blazing with jokes.
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
think I watched an interview with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she said that was like she wished that the show was on forever. Like that was her fucking. I think she did with Letterman, the Letterman Netflix thing that they did.
Why not bring it back? And plus, with Kamala Harris, everyone's like, "Oh, she's worse than Veep." Like Veep's back in the zeitgeist.
Yes.
Bring it back.
Yes, you love it. The jokes are so fast. It's really funny.
And mean.
Oh
and
my God.
Dirty. It's so good. It's so fucking funny.
I think this is from the first scene. I don't know why it just seems so out of place. I'm still laughing about it. I watched it years ago. It opens with there's this rampant case of diarrhea going through the White House and all this chaos. And somebody's quoting one of the senators that says, "May God show mercy on my boxer shorts." And I'm just like, this is how they start the whole thing.
It's fantastic. The way the number of ways, I'm sure there's a Reddit thread on how many different ways they've called someone like a bucket of cum. Just
my God.
A billion different inventive ways to call someone an asshole. It's fantastic TV.
It's great. But for the young kids, they don't care about TV. TV's
Pail
for
of
old
jizz
people.
just off the top of my head.
That's one way.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Let's scoot over to TikTok. You're a big fan, right?
I love TikTok.
Well, guess what? You might be their case study, and you don't even know it.
Really?
Because some on Wall Street, these analysts say that it is literally not just it's this on steroid. It is literally as addictive as crack. Calling the platform, it is an addictive drug in itself. Even going so far to say that TikTok will ruin the internet. Why? Well, according to the analysts, like crack, watching the videos in is this instant high that wears off really, really quickly, causing the user to seek out another hit and another hit and another hit in the form of a new video. And the reason the analysts see this as a problem is because TikTok's popularity, other social media platforms are going to start doing, well, we need a really short thing that just gives you a hit and a hit, which they believe will further shorten people's attention spans. And from where they sit, hurt the digital advertising business because we're only going to pay attention for 3 seconds.
How does one partake in TikTok?
Oh my God.
I've never been
You
on
mean
it.
like watch it or have an
That's
account?
just the oldest man thing I ever said.
Yeah.
Pops Carolla.
How much time you got?
Not interested.
I'll show you in a minute. It's
I
literally-
almost feel the same way about TikToks I felt about video games. Like it's like somebody goes, kind of felt that way about heroin. They go, you're either going to not stop throwing up, or you're going to feel better than you've ever felt. And I'm like, I don't want either. I don't want either one of those things. I may love every second of it,
Bless you.
or it may give me gas, but I don't. I felt that way my whole life, or most of my life. People are saying, you gotta watch Call to Action 3, or you gotta play this, or you gotta do this one, or whatever. Medal of Honor 7. And I'm like, I don't want to get into it. You don't get it. They go, it's so good, you won't be able to stop. And I'll go, I waste enough fucking time watching Dragnet at 5:30 in the morning.
They call it TikTok
already.
jail when you're sitting on your toilet swiping and you don't realize like
You lose time.
2 hours have gone by and you've
Your
stopped
legs are
laughing.
numb.
You're just watching shit. And as someone who's a direct beneficiary of the algorithm and how TikTok is addictive, that's why the special is named "Thank You China" because they invented TikTok. It is. I can see that it's addictive like crack, and I cannot wait to have to not use the platform because it's definitely like breaking people's minds.
But do you go up and do you like pick a category? Do you follow some of your favorites?
I don't use it at all from that like content consumption perspective. I just put shit out, and it's not even me anymore. It's my social media team that does it.
Selfish.
Yeah.
It's fantastic at what it does, and if it's designed to shorten American attention spans, it's doing an amazing job.
And isn't TikTok the perfect name for it? Like your fucking life's just ticking away.
Yeah,
for watching this.
You're on the clock.
Yeah.
It used to be a sound, you know? It used to be just it was a song, and now it's how I built this last 2 years of stand-up comedy on the road.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah, not reading or looking at stuff has saved me a lot of seat time on the commode. 'Cause
Lingering.
I found somebody sent me something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter what it was, but I found myself looking at it as I was hitting the toilet yesterday. And at some point, I realized I've been on the toilet longer than I've ever been on the toilet. My toilet move is I almost bounce off it. I just hit it, drop it,
Quit
and
it.
boom.
You wait till the
quit
last
They
second.
didn't shit it.
I do what the Enola Gay did with the Hiroshima, Nagasaki. I drop it and I peel off
You didn't
into
even
into the clouds.
It did what
and
it
I
had to
look
do.
back at the destruction and the humanity left behind,
The
but
mushroom cloud.
people frozen in time. But I just drop it
Yeah.
and I peel off because I look and I realize that people spend the most time. I think they're taking a long time to shit, but it's not that. They're reading the sports page and they forgot what they're doing there. It's become a porcelain sofa for them.
Totally.
That's what TikTok
Do
is.
not bring reading material into the
Yeah.
commode.
Smart.
Get yourself motivated.
That's right. And to show that I share your sentiments, I'm not into video games. It's not my thing. I got a husband and a stepson who love everything that Mario's ever put out. But I voiced several video games,
Yes.
and people will tweet me and go, "Hey, like, what's the best way for Rose and her scarf in Street Fighter?" I'm like, I have never played this game.
I was
I
in an
love
empty
doing
booth.
voiceover. I love that you love it, but I'm not your guy.
Sorry, I thought someone was
No,
saying
you're like
I was
you were in an
really
empty booth.
curious. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at the time, like you didn't play the game.
Exactly.
All right, let's bring her home, Gina
You
Grant.
got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. May God show mercy on my boxer shorts.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's Geico. Do you own? Do you rent your home? Well, sure, you do one or the other, and it can be hard work. Well, it's easy bundling those policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your automotive policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. So you go to geico.com, get a quote, and see just how much you could be saving when you get your bundle working at geico.com. Brad Williams going to join us tomorrow, which is a good thing. I'm going to be at Wise Guys this weekend, doing comedy and doing live pods there up in Utah. Nimesh is going to be at the Brea Improv coming up as you hear this tomorrow and Saturday. Well, this weekend. How about that? And Twitter and Instagram at Finding, and I'll spell it out, Nimesh.
That's clever.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Finding Nimesh.
Yes, very funny. Thanks for joining us again, my friend.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
And until next time, Sam, Regina, Nimesh, and Bald saying mahalo.
All right, to the older player, the rookie's like, what are you doing this weekend? What are we doing? What are we doing? He's like, I'm going home to my family and my kids. It's like, remember we were running up and down the stairs of the stadium and everyone was going to puke? That was my vacation.
That's my day off. When you have little kids.
That's my day off. When you have little kids, you're like, I got to go home.
When I'm with my kids, I'm thinking about running up and down stairs and
thinking
puking.
of it